What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy 10. I know it's been a while since I did a video, but yeah. It's me, 10, aka Test Reacts. 10 Isani Suakaja Reacts. And today I wanted to have a little conversation about climate change and why it is a Black issue. So I'm doing this on the couch as usual because I want to be comfortable and there's no AC upstairs. So therefore, we're doing it right here on this couch. I'm not going upstairs to bake like a fucking potato. So, um, as we all know, the world has been hitting record highs in terms to heat. Um, we've been getting extreme heat warnings now all summer. And there have been high rates of dehydration and quite a few deaths because of the heat. There's a subset of people who don't believe that climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it, is real. Even though the evidence is literally burning them in the face. It's burning them in the face. Okay? So, despite all of the evidence, there's still a couple of people who do not believe in climate change, who do not believe in global warming. And so I think that it's important for marginalized folks to be as educated on this issue as possible because this is a Black and POC issue. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. So in this conversation, I'm going to talk a little bit about how hot it's been over where I live at, some of the high rates of temperature all around, and I'm going to talk about exactly why Black people should educate themselves, and brown people and marginalized folks, especially poor people, need to educate themselves about this issue, and they need to be an activist and get involved. I'm thirsty. I'm so oily. I don't care. We're just going to shine. We're going to shine today. So, I live in Wyoming, and it's gotten pretty hot over here. I think we've hit a high of 106, maybe a little higher. Also, I work in an area where the AC hasn't been working. They've been fixing it all summer, and so I've been having to work with in high heat in the library, and I have had countless conversations with my bosses and just people around me about the fact that it's so hot and what this means for our honestly for the world. So it's been a lot of conversation, and the reason why a lot of people keep talking about the heat and keep talking about climate change is because it's so hot. It's on your mind because there's no reason that temperatures should hit 130. I'm pretty sure, I think it was Arizona, it hit 130 degrees, the highest it has ever hit. And that is mind-blowing. You can't function in that type of heat. It's not good for you to be out in that type of heat. Those rays on you, very, 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 can be very painful, and they can be very they can cause a dehydration, they can cause fatigue, they can cause all types of things. So that is a clear distinction that there's something going on in the earth right now that is causing these high temperatures. And not even just that, we've had high temperatures, and we've also had in natural disasters. There's a huge flood in Germany right now. That's due to climate change. There's been tropical lots of tropical storms and hurricanes in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I'm from. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. There are parts of Georgia that do get hurricanes, but they're mostly the rural parts. You don't see hurricanes in the city. There have been hurricanes in and around the city of Atlanta. If that's not telling you what is happening, I don't know what is. So let's get a couple things out of here right now. I was one of the people who like sipped the Kool-Aid that climate change was a white people thing, that it was a white thing, or like hi, my name's Marianne and I'm pro climate change. Look at me, I'm cool. I used to think it was like just something white people wanted to advocate for to feel special. Slowly but surely, after educating myself, I realized that this is not a white thing. It is not white to care about the earth, because the earth is literally dying. And in doing so, so are people and livestock and plants and like it's mind-boggling. So I believe that for a long time. I've since educated myself on climate change. I've since did the work and realized it's a big part of my activism, because climate change is a Black and brown and POC issue. It is. It is. It's a Black issue. It's a poor issue. It's a, like most marginalized groups in the world, issue. So a lot of the naysayers of climate change are usually rich white people. And the reason why rich white people are naysayers of climate change is because it doesn't affect them. They have the resources to keep their houses cold. They have the resources to get the food and the water and the air conditioning that they need. But poor people and Black people and homeless people and people who are all across the spectrum of marginalization do not have those same resources and the same privilege. So therefore, that is why it is inherently a race and class issue. The people who will die first is not going to be the rich white people. The people who have been dying are not the rich white people. It's the poor. It's Black people. It's homeless people. It's other marginalized identities. They're the ones who are suffering the most because they can't afford to keep their air conditioned on, or they can't afford to get access to the food and the water and the resources that they need in order to survive. So it is inherently a race and class issue. Therefore, as Black and brown and LGBTQ, poor, so on people, I think it's very important for us to speak up. You know, there's been a lot of white people who have been the face of this movement, which we already know is bullcrap, because there's been countless of Black, brown, and POC people who have been out there doing it, but they get cut out because they don't fit the mold. We know this. We've seen it happen before. But as Black people, and as especially me as a Black person, it's important that I use my voice, the little voice that I have, to say that climate change is important and that we need to do what we can do in order to help, others, ourselves, and the earth. Most importantly, the earth. Okay. And this isn't a tree hugger type situation. This is not what's going on here. This is me looking at the evidence, living in it, and telling you what it is. That's what this is. Like, period. Like, we are going to suffer. We have been suffering. The earth will suffer. The animals will suffer. Because people don't understand how serious it is. This is a very, very, very serious thing that's going on right now. There are people losing their homes. Animals are being killed. the ecosystem is out of whack. Like, it's out of whack. Everything is just, whew, it's intense. And the thing about, I think what a lot of people aren't understanding is that the thing about this situation and the thing about climate change is that this is not going to be like a big bang and then we're dead. This is going to be years and years of suffering. This is going to be years, and this is going to be countless deaths. This is going to be displacement. This is going to be sickness, loss of resources. Food will be would be affected. Um, uh, Vegetables and crops, cattle, everything will be affected. Our food, our water supply is going to be affected. Our overall quality of life has already been affected due to the high heat. And not just that, it's an effect. It's like a ping pong effect. We're going to go from extreme high heat to record lows of cold, and snow and storms. And once again, this is going to affect the whole way that the ecosystem works. Okay? And this has been happening for years. People have been talking about global warming for years and years and years and years, decades, honestly. People have been talking about this. And people don't realize how extreme this is. It is so important as people, especially as Black and Brown people, to speak up about this. And obviously, it's not up to just us. Obviously, this is an issue that affects everybody, but it affects the lower class, and it affects Black and Brown bodies the absolute most. Like, that's just proven. It's a proven fact. I'm going to link some, put some links in my description so you can check out some stories and check out some websites about climate change and what's been going on. So what can we do? What can we do in order to help? So, one, talk about it. Talk about it. Use whatever little platform you have to speak on it, whether it's making a Facebook post or making a live video on any of your social media, making a TikTok, whatever it is. Get involved in community organizations if there are some. If there aren't any, maybe if you have the desire to and mental energy to and capacity to, create one. Start with a small event, an educational event, and then move on to something else. Do your research. I avoid the news a lot because it's just depressing. But you go out and you find that research about climate change, the how it is related to race and class, and the effects on people that it's going to have. Another thing as well is also just protect yourselves and and do what you can to work together as a community to help each other. Whether that's having food drives or water drives, or offering your home to a friend who doesn't have air conditioning, saying, come stay with us for a day or two, the only way this is going to work is if we as a community work together. This is not going to work with we can't be separatism. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to work unless we as a community, like-minded individuals, come together and say, this is going to directly affect the well-being of the people I love, of the people I care about, and of the people who, I'm sorry, y'all, and the future. The world may not be here as it is in 20, 30 years. Hell, it may not even be as it is, like still standing in 5 years because of the way that we as human beings have mistreated the earth. And I want, like most people, to live to see my 50s and 60s. I would love that. I want to experience a life past 30 and 35 years old. I would love that. I want kids to be able to grow up in a world where they're not getting sick due to the air quality. Or I want a world where you won't play outside for 5 seconds and get heat stroke because of the way that our world is melting and the way that everything is changing. So those are just a couple things you can do. Also, just some general tips with the heat. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Like, I've been drinking a lot of water. Like, it's never enough. It's never enough. But drink a lot of water. Sunscreen. Black people. I used to drink the Kool-Aid thinking that you couldn't get sunburn. You can get sunburn, Black people. Put on a little sunscreen before you go out. Even if you're just out for a little while, I try to remember to put on sunscreen because the rays are very hot and you can get burnt. And there are people who have gotten skin cancer or other skin issues due to the sun. Try to conserve your energy as much as you can. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying sit in the house and be hot. Do not do that. Keep your fans on and stuff. But aside from that, try to conserve your lights. Using cooking, lessen the cooking if you can. So I haven't been using the oven. Don't use the oven a lot because, of course, when you use the oven, it makes it very, very hot. I find that lukewarm showers help. Super cold showers can be like a little bit, and hot showers when it's hot can really mess with you. So I suggest if you come home and you're overheated, I would sit down. I would first get some water, or if you can't get it, have someone get you some water. Sit down and just rest a little bit. Don't push yourselves out there. People, if you're working outside, please make sure you're staying hydrated. Please make sure you're eating. Please make sure that you're set and prepared as much as you can when you're working outside. Anybody who's working outside, y'all just be careful out there. And I think last but not least is to the thing that we can do as like a community that is talk to people about the importance of this issue. And some people, especially like the older white folks, will not listen if we say it's a race issue because so maybe don't start with that, but start with hey, do you recognize that this is not this is not normal? Like, it should not get up that high. Do you understand what this means for the earth? Do you understand that it's possible that everything could be completely lost in a sense? It could be lost in 20 years. Like, the fucking ocean was on fire the other day, y'all. It was on fire. On fire. Fish are dying. Like, in the water, like, fish are dying. Like, because it's so hot. They're dying in their natural habitat, y'all. Like, animals are leaving the fucking, especially down here, animals are leaving the woods and coming up here because it's so damn hot and they can't handle it. And they're in their area and their homes are being essentially wiped away. So, it's important, and I need people to really open their eyes, because this is more than just, this isn't liberal, like Whether you're liberal, conservative, communist, or socialist, you should be concerned about this. You should be. Anyway, that was the video, y'all. I want to thank you to the people who watched. I appreciate you. I just wanted to say thank you to the people who have watched any of my videos. Also, thank you for watching my Why Bi Pan Lesbians Are Valid. It actually reached over 100 views, which is cool. And I hope that people are learning something from my videos. Or if not, you just like watching my pretty ass talk, you know what I'm saying? My oily but pretty ass talk. Damn, I'm oily. But yeah, so I'm going to leave some links in the description about climate change and also about some of the things I talked about, which is like how it's a race and class issue and how you can get involved. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much. You are loved. And I got to go. And remember, y'all, please stay gay.